Okay, so I've owned my GMT for pretty much bang on a year now, so I just thought I'd give a bit of an update as to how I've got on with it, and hopefully some people will find this video useful, some might not, because they've hopefully done their research, but if you haven't done your research and you're doing your research, you might find it quite useful. So how have I found the watch overall? Then I'll do some dislikes, and then a bit of a conclusion. So overall, I love it. I like the styling. I like lots of things about it, but we'll come on to that when I go into the likes and dislikes. But yeah, overall, spoiler alert, it's for me anyway, with my 7-inch wrist, it's a really, really nice fit, classic style, and I love the GMT functionality. So really the likes are, as I mentioned, the black, looks like black there, doesn't it? Blue and red Pepsi bezel, which does look black in darker lights, and then blue in lighter environments. The build quality is absolutely brilliant for the price point, as people will always say. It feels very, very solid. Indeed, there are small things that you to think about which other companies don't always. So if you look at the older Rolex models and even my 5-year-old Omega, you can see that you've got there a ceramic ball bearing, which is actually spring-loaded. Can I get my fingernail on that? Yeah, there you go. So when you close it, it's got that very nice positive sound. And also, because it's a ceramic ball bearing, it will last for a very, very long time. Whereas where they're metal, eventually they rub away and the clasp becomes loose, and then you get problems. You can also see things like how well constructed, well, in my view anyway, the clasp actually is. So it's very thick metal and it feels substantial. I'm going to be referring to notes, you will have to bear with me. The accuracy of the watch is brilliant, and I'll insert an image of how I've been getting on. So I did test it and do test all my watches in different positions overnight, so I kind of have them backwards, forwards, sides, dial up, dial down, all sorts of stuff, and I've managed to get it to 0.1 seconds a day accurate, which I think is absolutely stunning. Everyone knows about the COSC certified movement and all that type of stuff, so I'm not going to go into any of that. I don't think there's any need to do any of that. The actual winding and using of the crown is brilliant. It's a big crown, it's easy to grip, it's got some nice knurling on it. Again, similar with the bezel, very easy to use. I don't know why some people say they struggle with the bezel, I find that a bit odd. One-handed, easy, and it feels very nice. It's a very positive action, there's no play in it. Like I say, when you're using the crown, it's very smooth when you wind the watch, and when you're changing the time, GMT function, the date, it's a very, very nice crown to be using. So that's really nice, because obviously when you're interacting with the watch, that's one of the pleasures of having such a nice watch. The details that I really do like, so for me, I like the modern aesthetic, so I like the fact that it's silver numbers on the bezel, a silver running track, silver text, silver dial surround, silver handset with white loom. For me, that's going to stand a test of time better than a lot of the kind of faux patina watches, which I think is a bit of a fad. It's been around for a while, but I think in 10-15 years a more modern looking aesthetic like this will be a more popular watch. I can see the faux patina kind of wearing a bit thin on people. The things I do like about this watch that are different from the Black Bay 41mm diver range are the chamfer on the bottom of the case. So ordinarily that case would come all the way down to the bottom of the crown, and it's on both sides, and it just reduces some of that slab-sided visual thickness. It's about 1.5mm chamfer into the case, just making it look that little bit thinner. The hour plots are slightly smaller, and in this case thinner, than on the diver, and the handset is also thinner, which just makes this watch look a little bit more refined when compared to the diver. And when you consider the chamfer and those small details, believe it or not, it does make quite a big difference. Overall, I do know someone that has a Black Bay 41 Blue, and when you put them next to each other, you really can see the difference. So those things are things that I really like about the watch. Just making sure I haven't missed anything. Nope. Okay, things that I dislike. Bear with me. I'm just going to bring up my notes. Okay, so the weight. Do I dislike the weight? Some people like knowing a watch is there, don't like titanium watches, but I do think it's definitely on the heavy side for a watch. A lot of that, I think, is down to the fact that it's a 22mm lug width. And just while we're there, you've also, for those that don't know, it's 41mm in diameter, 50mm lug to lug, and about 14.7mm tall. So yeah, as a result of having a 22mm lug width, it's a very hefty watch. It's quite a big lump of metal anyway, obviously, but that definitely doesn't help. And when you think that other watches that are bigger in diameter, so the Seamaster 300 is 42mm in diameter, and that's got a 20mm lug to lug, that makes a big difference not only in the visual size of the watch, but in the weight of the watch. So if they'd made that 20mm, I think that would have made a big difference to not only how the watch feels on the wrist because of the weight, but also to how big it looks visually. The thickness for me isn't an issue, but I will talk about it under the section because for a lot of people it will be a negative. So from the back of the case to the top of the bezel is actually about 13.7mm, because the crystal takes about 1.5mm of the overall thickness of the watch. So actually, as I've talked about in a previous video, it does actually wear more like a 13mm thick watch. And when you think that it's 200mm water resistant with a GMT function, with a date function, I think that's pretty good. If you look at other brands, Rolex aside, and obviously more expensive brands, I think that's pretty typical for a diving sports 200m water resistant watch. But as I say, the 14.7mm thickness is a bit misleading. The problem Tudor have is that if you look at Rolex and lots of other watches, they bet the bezel was probably about 2.5 times thicker than it is on a Tudor. So lots of the thickness is made up in the case, and I'm sure that's because of the movement, but it doesn't help them, and that's obviously why they've added a chamfer to the GMT, just to make it that bit more refined and reduce some of that visual thickness. And it does work, again, holding it next to my friend's 41mm Black Bay Blue. You really can tell the difference. So yeah, I think they missed a bit of a trick making the bezel so thin and giving everyone the impression that it's a slab-sided behemoth of a watch, because actually lots of watches out there, again, the Omega is about 14mm thick as well, maybe 13.9, something like that. So really it wears like a 13mm thick watch when you don't take into consideration the crystal, which I appreciate you have to, but yeah, the thinness of the bezel certainly contributes to the way the watch looks from the side and gives it that slab-sided stigma, almost, I would say. What else? The clasp. So you've got these 3 micro adjustments. I appreciate it's not a massively expensive watch, but it would be nice, as everyone always mentions, to get a proper glide lock or something similar like that. They've done something very nice on the Pelagos. I think that would be too agricultural for this watch, but some sort of on-the-fly adjustment would be nice. So a reason I would say that is because in order to make this very comfortable for the summer, I've had to add in a link and then move it on the micro adjustments on the clasp. So when it comes to the winter, I'm going to have to take out that link and move it for the micro adjustments on the clasp. For my Black Bay 58, I did just get another hold put in, so I have to move it between the holes, but that still requires a tool. So yeah, that is a bit of a frustration, I've got to be honest. It would be nice if they had a proper micro adjusting clasp on this. Obviously the big elephant in the room is the date wheel issue. I'll be blunt, for me it's not really a problem. My watch has had the date wheel problem. It has been sent away. I got it back in March. Sorry, when did I get it back? I had it 2 months, so a couple of months ago. So June. I wear my watch I wear this about 3 days a week. I interchange it with my Black Bay Blue 58 and my Omega. And for me, that's what warranties are for. You know, it's a luxury product. I get it. I think some people's expectations of a luxury product are a bit too high. I think they expect it to be perfection. But when you look at luxury products across the spectrum, Porsches, Ferraris, McLarens, build quality issues with those cars, slightly different. Pens, Mont Blanc, they're known for having fountain pen leaks. Again, Rolex watches, the GMT hand looks like a baby dipped it in some ink and then slapped it on top of the hand stack. There's often misaligned bezels on Rolexes. There's often fragments and debris underneath the crystal on Rolexes. So I appreciate this is a movement issue, but it is a brand new GMT movement created in-house by Tudor. Is it acceptable that it's gone wrong? Not really. Should have they done a recall? Not really, because recalls are typically in the auto industry for safety reasons. Could Tudor have come out and just said, we're sorry and recalled it? Yes, they could. But if everyone's got a warranty and they're wearing their watches, they'll find out they've got a date wheel issue and it'll be covered anyway. So from a business point of view, I think they've done the right thing. If you wear it and it has a date wheel function problem, you send it back to Tudor, they put a new movement in. Where I will have a problem is if it happens again. And not because I would lose respect for Tudor, but I would lose confidence in the movement. So if it happens once, fine, and they haven't fixed it and I don't know how to fix it, like I think what happened with the early ones that got returned, okay, not entirely great for those people that had to send it back twice. But if you've got a new movement, you would expect that movement to be working when it goes into the watch. So if it does break again, I will lose quite a lot of confidence in the movement and Tudor's ability to actually fix it. So yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on that, because that's obviously quite a big deal for a lot of people. Tail's just solid off. I'll put it on my wrist quickly. So that's a 7-inch wrist. And I've got to be honest, I absolutely love it. It doesn't wear too thick for me. Like I say, it would be nice if that was 20mm as opposed to 22. But overall, I'm extremely happy with it. And for me, it is a keeper. It's one that I'll be hanging on to. And I can honestly say that if this date wheel function is fixed, I can see when this watch gets discontinued, it'll be a very, very popular model. And it will skyrocket in popularity again. And if it does, great. If it doesn't, I don't care, because I'll be keeping it no matter what. Well, as long as it doesn't break again. But yeah, overall, if you are looking for any luxury products, you do, if you can, you want to obviously go try that on, feel it, actually get comfortable with it, make sure you're happy with the weight, the size, do your research if there are any known issues with those particular brands, watches. If you're interested in value retention and actual bag, obviously you need to look into that as well. But I really recommend this watch. You get a warranty with it, like every luxury watch. So if you do have any problems, you return it. And the way it looks, it outweighs any of that. I think it's fantastic. So yeah, if you have any questions on this particular model, let me know and I'll try to help you out.